Welcome to Cherry Blossom Yoga. I'm Robin Dinerman. This is a half-hour Hatha Yoga class for beginning and continuing students. You won't need any special equipment. Just make sure your clothes are loose and you haven't eaten a big meal beforehand. You can work right on your carpet or a towel or an exercise mat, whatever you feel comfortable with. In my Monday night class last week, somebody asked me, why are you using all these Sanskrit words? And do we have to learn them? Is there going to be a test? I said, no, not at all. In yoga, a posture is called an asana or an asana, which actually means a comfortable pose. It's a Sanskrit word. So most of the postures have asana or asana toward the end of the Sanskrit word itself. I like to use the actual Sanskrit word along with the English description, partly because I'm reminding myself, and I hope you're learning, that yoga is a very ancient practice that goes back centuries, and the people who created it maybe 3,000 years ago, they spoke Sanskrit and they wrote in Sanskrit, and I want to keep that connection to the ancestors. Yoga has become so commercialized lately that I think it's important, at least for me and for my students, to remember the rich past and how it is expressed today. And when I was starting to do yoga in the 70s, it was written in the yoga teachings when there were very few in English in those days. But it was that this is good for your health, this is good for your body, and all the things you've probably heard about today. And now there's scientific research, there's studies that are done that, yes, confirm that this posture helps the circulation, and these postures are good for improving balance, and this is good for concentration in coordination with all the breathing exercises as well. So sometimes I'll use the Sanskrit along with the English. And no, there won't be a quiz. You don't have to remember them. It's just my little reminder of the past and how it's connected to today. We're going to do a series of movements. So a series of asanas is called a vinyasa. And this particular one is an energy vinyasa. And I borrowed it from Olivia Miller's book, Essential Yoga. I'm a big fan of hers. So we're going to begin with Baddha Konasana, the seated angle pose. The soles of the feet are together. I'm going to press down through the sit bones so I can lift, so my pelvis is straight up and down. And I want to bring the shoulders above the hips, because the tendency in this posture is to lean back and collapse, and you lose the space between your navel and your breastbone. So the soles of the feet are together. I'm holding on just above the ankle bones. I'm taking a deep breath in, and then exhaling, pressing the forearms into the inner thighs, and reaching forward. I'm reaching for the space right beyond my toes and pressing down, so this helps open the groin and stretch the inner thigh muscles. So take your time in the posture, breathing deeply in through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth, and then slowly come up. Another version of this is the butterfly, with the fingers loosely interlaced, wrapped around the lower toes. And I have to lift the upper chest and then quickly raise and lower the knees. You know this as the butterfly. Then I'm going to hold on with one hand and breathe in. Exhaling, I'm going to push one leg down toward the floor. You see it's not going down there. I do have some students who they just sit down and their knees go to the floor, but most of us can enjoy a little bit of stretching here. And then switch to the other side. Breathe in and out and press. And then we can go back to the original version, holding on right above the ankles. I'm going to inhale, come forward, exhaling, and now my arms are pressing down into the inner thighs, but my legs are going to press back and return. So I know it's only my description that you can follow, but my legs are lifting up, my arms and upper body are pushing down. And then I'm releasing. And then another version of Baddha Konasana is the hands loosely wrapped around the lower toes. I'm going to bring the arms outside of the shins and my face as close to my hands as possible, and simply breathe. So whatever version of Baddha Konasana that you're in, take some really deep breaths. Sinking down into the posture, keeping the length through the spine. And then coming up. And then the legs out in a wide V. This is another seated angle pose. And we're going to walk one hand after the other. Reaching, pressing the finger pads forward. Toes are mostly pointed up. Your legs might start turning outward a little. And again, a nice stretch in the inner thigh, lower back. Arms are shoulder distance apart. And then slowly come up. Sit tall in the posture and breathe. Take a breath in. Again, separate the legs. I'm actually pressing outward. And I don't want the shoulders to creep up. I want my neck to be free. And here, I'm going to take a breath, and another, and simply sink forward. Little by little, you might be able to reach down your legs almost to your feet or to your feet. When you exhale, pull the belly back in toward the spine. And then slowly release. And then the next version, I'm going to turn slightly at an angle, is Paschimottanasana, which is seated forward bend. So we're simply going to place the hands forward and reach. Now some people can only go as far as their shins or maybe to the ankles, but not to worry about this. The whole idea of doing yoga is to improve your flexibility and then maintain it. So if you're a brand new beginner, So just join us, do what you can. So coming forward, I still want to keep the collarbone lifted and the shoulders away from my ears. And again, we're breathing into the posture, hinging forward from the hips. At some point, you might be able to place your hands on top of your feet, lower the shoulders. Now I'm looking at the space right between my feet. I can kind of walk my fingers down, come down a little bit farther, or you can slide the hands down, bringing the arms closer to the floor. Great stretch for the lower back. And then slowly unhinge upward. Take a deep breath. That should feel really good. And we're going to sit now in Sukhasana, which is also known as Taylor's pose or easy seated pose. So I tuck one leg in and then the other right in front. So what makes this pose interesting now is that I'm going to place one hand on top of the thigh, cross the other arm over, placing the other hand. So you can see, in my case, I have elbow over elbow. And I want to take a breath in and then exhale, and I'm pulling against the legs and lowering. So once again, take several breaths in this posture. And this gives you a great stretch in the upper arms, a stretch between the shoulder blades, the muscles called the rhomboids. Try to get that deep breath. When the chest expands, you will feel the stretch. When you exhale, you'll be able to sink a little bit farther. And then slowly come up. Oh, yes, you're going to feel that in your arms. And then cross the opposite arm over. And this will probably feel odd because you used your preferred side first. And again, pulling against the legs, lengthening the spine, hinging forward. And 5 to 8 deep breaths. If you're doing this on your own. And slowly release. Separate the arms. Now we're going to exchange the legs. So whichever foot is in front, tuck it in under your thigh. The opposite foot is in front now. And here we're going to cross the arms again. So one arm on top, or the other on top, and then folding forward. And release, coming up slowly and with awareness. So reversing the arms, coming down once more. And breathing deeply, exhaling completely. And slowly release. Sit tall, close your eyes, bring your hands to your heart. In prayer position, visualize your spinal column, shoulders above the hips, seated tall, your breath deep. Your exhalation empties all the sterile air from your lungs. Perhaps you feel the movement or flow of energy, your circulation improve. Maybe you feel your pulse beating a little faster, or perhaps you're more awake. We're going to pause for just a moment, and then we'll return to Cherry Blossom Yoga. Welcome back to Cherry Blossom Yoga. I'm going to do some postures from table pose, which is called Majari Asana. So we'll begin in table, and then we'll do some knee to nose movements and a little bit of balancing, reaching over for a crossed leg. So you'll see. I hope you'll join me. So table pose, we've done many times before. Arms shoulder distance apart, inner elbows in, and the ankles are turned out. Hands just in front of the shoulders, knees just outside of the hips. Let's do a cat stretch first, arching the back, tucking the belly in, and then inhaling, flattening the back, lengthening the spine. This is table, and exhale. And inhale. So I'm going to move my right knee in just a fraction and bring the knee up toward my nose, tuck my head in just a little, and then extend the leg. Now here you can firm the buttock. I was letting my head drop, so I want to lift the back of my neck. Firm the buttock. You don't need to tighten your toes, but this helps tone the buttock muscles and the thigh. Exhaling, tuck in. Inhaling, extend and firm. And if you like, you can drop down onto your elbows. You do have to move the hands forward a little bit, and then exhale and inhale. And then back up and cross. This is my left leg. I'm going to reach for the left foot with my right hand, kind of bring the knee in line with the sit bone, the heel of the foot in line with the tailbone, and then I'm pushing the leg up. Now the right arm is very important. You're going to roll the shoulder back and squeeze the blade in toward the spine. I'm looking straight down. And then slowly release the knee, gently place it down, and pull back for a moment. Come back up into table. Move the left knee in just a little bit, extend the right leg. Breathe in and exhale, knee toward the nose, and extend the leg. You don't need to lift it high, but do keep the back of the neck straight, firming the buttock. Exhale, inhale. And if you want to add that extra movement, move the hands forward. Exhale, inhale. And then walking the hands back a little bit, reach for the right foot, line it up at center, roll the shoulder back. There we go. Push upward. And then slowly lower the knee to the floor. Release, pull back, make a fist pillow, sink down, let your head sink onto your fist pillow. Let the tailbone drop. Pressing the floor away. Come down onto your back. And press the feet into the floor, pushing your waist down, pull the belly down into the pelvis. You can feel the back flatten, and inhale, the arch returns. And exhale. And exhale. And turn the arms open. Bring the ankles and knees together, a reclining spinal twist. Breathe in, letting the air out slowly. Lower the legs down to one side. You're going to land completely on that hip. Now with your focus right at your navel, pull the legs up, inhaling to center. Exhaling, lowering the legs slowly. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower. Now bring the right knee in, squeeze the thigh into the side of your rib cage, and then open the leg, walk the hands down toward the ankle, drop the elbows, gently pull and release. Now sometimes I let my lower back lift up when I pull, other times I try to keep it flat to the floor, so try it both ways. Place the hands behind the calf, breathe in, and exhale. Place the head down, bend the knee, and squeeze the other leg in. And open, pull the foot over and swing it out a little. Place both hands behind the calf. Bring the breastbone up, tuck the chin in. and slowly release. And let's move into our relaxation. You can keep the knees up, or you can straighten your legs in Shavasana, turn the palms up, tuck the shoulder blades in toward the spine, and focus on your breath. Follow your breath into your body and out. Let yourself sink or float, whatever feels right. And then if you wish, bring your arms over your head, straighten your legs, take a deep breath, give yourself a really, really good stretch. Then bring the knees up, walk the feet to the side and push over. So you're turning onto your side and resting your head on your arm. Bring the knees in close, almost a fetal position. If you feel that you're ready, use your top hand. Press the floor away, allow your head to sink down. As you walk your hands back to your body, spiral to the front, come into a seated position, and pause, and breathe. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're feeling wonderful, and I hope you can carry that feeling with you into your day, into your week, and into your life. Namaste.